Tomorr, thank you very much for agreeing to take part in the Heritage Project, which aims to bring to the community what was the part played of the participated that built Stratford as well as the surrounding areas. Now, you have been a long-standing partner working alongside Spressa Programme as an established artist in performing arts, choreographer and youth lead training and empowering numerous Albanian young people in the field. It is just under 10 years that the Olympic Games went on, where you've trained and shaped many of the young people's lives, their futures, through taking part in performances, organising, which were very, very successful. Can you talk us through a little bit more in detail what lies to the success and how has this promoted our community and the work that Spressa does?
Well, the success is always subjective. What is success for me could be something different from other people. However, if we see it in the whole umbrella, in the success of Spressa program and success of young people, as well as the success of Olympics, then we can actually narrow it down. I would talk here about the success and what lies behind Spressa program's success. Number one, Spressa program has identified the needs. By identifying the need, Spressa program has been able to really narrow down all of the resources and objectives that it has. Number two, Spressa has had a very clear mission in order to fulfill these needs, to really take care of these needs. Number three, has engaged the community, has brought people in various different aspects. Another way that Spressa program has been successful, and I think this is a fantastic role model, is the fact that it has worked with young people to empower them. So the people who are in service, who came for the service, did not come in just touch and go. Did not come in. Of course this program was in, of course this element has been in to have the open doors. However, within every funding Spressa has applied for, with every concept, with every partnership that Spressa has built, the continuation, the capacity building and the fact to empower these communities has been there. We have had young people who've been, I don't know, in 2002, they were only 7 years old. Now they are integral part of it. They work in camera, behind the camera, they work in video editing. Why? Because by having the open doors, by having this big family feeling, they found out that they had a place to where they can come and experiment. Spressa program, apart from having a very clear leadership program for themselves, also empowered to create young leaders. So I think it's self-evident for this.
And in particular, what would you say about the young people's involvement within these projects and your input, and what's your experience in working with them?
It starts with the fact that I found a very fertile ground. Two, I found a place where I could come and bring my expertise, and this is another faceted aspect of Spressa program, to allow experts to speak about their expertise. So I found my experience with young people was fantastic. We started initially in 2002 with a dance group, but within that conversation we opened up to the mothers group. So whilst the children, we're talking here 4 or 5 years old kids, were learning dancing with us, and they were learning music, singing with Mariela, the mothers were having their mothers group and talking about employment, talking about accessibility, talking about languages, all of the other services that were at their disposal, which they didn't know. But that created that sort of opportunity for young people to want to go. So another thing that I see that young people benefited from it is that, for example, a few years back, these young people who were, let's say, 5, or the ones who were 12 to 16 years old, did not only come to learn the dances, let's say the technical part of it, but the integral part of the program was also the performance. One of the benefits of performing arts, and one of the benefits of arts in general, is that arts help people in many different ways. Number one, it builds the confidence. somebody who learns how to, every 2 months or 3 months, the Espressa program provided for them to go to a festival, to be performing in public and so on, they will find it much more easier to be in a boardroom. So therefore, if they build a business for themselves, they will be very confident. So if they have to pitch about the business, they subconsciously, they have learned whilst they were doing the dance lessons, while they were doing the drama lessons, while they were doing the singing lessons, while they were preparing for it.
So, Tomorr, can you recall some of the success stories of the Albanian young people that you have worked with during the Olympic development, or maybe before, to prepare them for the event, and perhaps further on?
Well, if we think about the stage performance here, a lot of young people who were the first cohort of Espressa program that I trained them from very early age came to perform at this stage, and to be honest, I was not present. So for me, it's a huge satisfaction that I did the work, but I only.
Some of the names?
Yes, it was Landi, was Irina, was Ahmed, with Matilda, was Landi. What was that? Karen, Udberry. So there were so many of them who came in. Finally, eventually they'd been doing training with me, but this came also as a result of many different events that we organized. So the idea was not only to perform or do things within your borough, with your neighborhood. We went to many different festivals and concerts. We went to Croydon Festival, we went to Southwark Festival, we went to Coin Street Festival by the river, we went to South Bank Festival, we went to Luton Festival. So there were so many community festivals that we organized in partnership with Espressa, where we had two groups, the little kids group and also the big group, and they had the national costumes, we had music, it was integral part of it. So these events are really important in many different ways, not only for the young people who would go out of their borough, they will give their contribution, they will enhance the cultural and the entertainment life of the whole of community, but also they will go into other cities, into other festivals. So altogether, they will benefit not only the service user, let's say these young people, but also the impact is nationwide. So a small group, a small charity organization giving such a huge impact in the whole society.
Do you think these events have promoted our culture, our community values, and recognized us as a community, established community in the UK?
I believe it's really, it's extremely important, the fact that for Espressa program as well as the Albanian community being so proactive, we not only have worked in the grassroots, but also we have worked in high level. For example, in 2015, when the Mayor of London, just before the Mayor of London was going to do present his mayorship, we organised an event at the London Town Hall, City Hall. We had literally over 1,000 people who came there and celebrated with dances, with people who were candidates who wanted the vote from Londoners. And I do still have a video and a photograph of Mr. Khan, the London mayor, dancing some Albanian dance. This is extremely important. This is an element which shows again the power of engagement, the power of art, but as well as the leadership from Espressa program for us to really go into all of the layers. So yes, the answer is that these sort of activities, events and programs have made our community, the Albanian community, better known, raise the profile of our community, to show that we have values we have brought here and we have added into the mosaic of the London cultural landscape and multiculturalism.
Lovely, thank you so much for that. And if I can ask you, lastly, I am aware that you are not a resident of Newham, but you have worked with residents that within the Newham community that lives here, and you are quite familiar with the area as well, I must say. What is your opinion of the recreational facilities that have been now created in Stratford area? And do you think that the Olympics became a legacy for the residents in inspiring the community? And the young generations, for that matter, as well, to take part in more recreational art, sports and sports activity, and how important is it that young people do get involved in sports, recreational arts and music?
I believe that this is an asset, this is a national asset. The London Olympic City is an asset, and I believe that the borough itself has got this asset. In my point of view, although I'm not a resident, but I quite often come in. For example, there are two areas. One is the filming industry that has been in some studios down the part of the Olympic Village. But most importantly for me, because I'm a choreographer, is Wayne McGregor Studios. Wayne McGregor is one of the most renowned choreographers in the world, and he has worked with many different professional companies in the world. And yet, within the studio, within the borough, within the council, he has a contract where part of the studio is being given for free to a lot of professional development. And obviously, number one of the people who would benefit from this are residents, as the Newham residents, including the Albanian young people. So it's a place there. So I can take this as an example. It's just a question of tapping into that resource and contacting them, and they will give a space for free. I mean, we know that space comes as a premium. And this, apart from the studio, there are loads of other places. Also, the fact that there are loads of different companies who have come into the area has really risen the level of engagement. I personally would have wanted more colleges to engage with young people in open conversations and practical stuff, number one. And number two, long-term plans. Not plans that, you know, have got 3 months span for a certain amount of money, but long-term plans. And most importantly also, I would suggest that the borough has got a think tank of young people. So that think tank to think the next 50 years, where is the borough going to go? So in many different aspects, I think this is an invaluable resource. This is an amazing asset, and I'm very proud to say that the Espressa program and Albanian community has added on into this asset and made it richer.